Hello, first graders. So today we are going to take our knowledge from Wasily Kandinsky and make our very own name into a Wasily Kandinsky inspired artwork. So for today's class, you're going to need a pencil, a dark marker. If you don't have a dark marker, you can use a dark crayon or a dark colored pencil. You're also going to need a sheet of paper. If you would like to use a colored sheet of paper and you have one, you can use that as well. Lastly, you're going to need anything that adds color. Not paint, but maybe a marker, color pencil, or crayon. So here is what we did last class. We were making some wacky lines and we were learning different ways to arrange them and combine them. So today, we're going to apply our knowledge of lines and use it with our very own name. So how I want everyone to start is just write their name on the side. You can just do your first name if you want. I know my last name is kind of long, but that's okay. I'm going to fit everything on here. So if you just want to do your first name, that's fine. And we are going to make sure we draw it nice and big. We want to take up our whole paper. Don't worry about fitting all of your letters because guess what? We are going to be stacking our letters on top of each other. This is called overlapping. So I started with the M and then I just added the S right on top of the M. Crazy. Now I'm turning my paper and I'm going to start writing Straza. So I'm drawing my big letter S. I'm figuring out where I want my T. I think I want it in the middle of my S. Next is the letter R. And I kind of already am starting to see an R in my letter T if I rotate my paper. So I'm going to add to my letter T and turn it into an R. Does everyone see that? Now I have a letter A I need to add. I'm using some lines that I already created to make my A. Now I have two letter Z's. I'm going to use the T and the R to make my letter Z's. Now I have one more letter A to do. I want you all to take your time planning out where you want your letters to go and how you would like them to overlap. You can pause the video here if you would like. Next, what we are going to do is lock our drawing in. Once we like the way all of our letters are arranged, we are going to take our marker and go over our lines nice and neatly. Now you might have something that looks a little bit like this. So cool, right? I'm turning my paper around, seeing which way I want to start coloring. I think I'm gonna leave it this way. But what's awesome about this is we can turn our paper any way we want since the letters are all wacky. This is already starting to look like a Wasily Kandinsky painting. Now is when you're going to take your extra materials. You can use your crayons, colored pencils, a pen, whatever you would like. I'm going to start with a marker. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for shapes inside of my letters. So a shape is a closed line. I found this shape between my letter R, it's also between my letter S and my letter Z, and I'm just coloring that little slice red because it reminded me of a piece of pizza. What other shapes do we see? There's a lot to choose from. I'm going to fill in another shape with my blue marker. Instead of just filling it in solid, this time I'm going to make it striped, like our long straight lines that we practiced. Super cool. Now I'm going to take a different color because I don't want my two boxes next to each other to be the same. I'm not going to do the other shape yellow. I'm going to pick a different color. I'm also not going to do that shape red because it shares a wall. So here I'm taking green and I'm going to do some spirals. These are some funky lines. If you made up your own line last class, feel free to add that wherever you can. So I'm going to finish this and then come back to you when I'm all done. So here is my final work of art. So as you can see, there are lines everywhere. I put the zigzag line inside of my letter M. See how it goes small to big? I know we practiced that. Now I have my diagonal lines, which is pretty much the straight lines, but they're falling over on their side. I decided to make them thinner than the blue straight lines. Here I have some curved lines. And guess what? Our letters are similar to the lines that we practiced. Look at the letter M. It almost looks like a zigzag. And my letter S, that looks similar to a wavy line. Here we have the letter R, which looks like a curved line, going into a diagonal line. If we keep going with that, it could be a zigzag. Here we have the letter Z's that look like zigzags. They're everywhere. I want you all to look close at your letters and see what types of lines they are. As you can see, I not only filled in the closed areas like this one, but I added color to the open areas. See how it doesn't connect? It's an open space. I decided to fill it in. So I want you at home to have a great time coloring in your Wassily Kandinsky inspired artwork. If you don't have time to finish it this class, use our class time tomorrow to continue. I won't be seeing you tomorrow, but I hope you have a great time working on your artwork, and I'll see you next class. Don't forget to post a picture to Seesaw.